Hey everybody, you guys want to know what my favorite tool to use is? A saw, dude. What's up, dude? It's Wario, and today I want to get into a few things that I think would make this game good. We'll go over like the negative and then like what could be positive about what I think would turn this game around. It's just a few things. I made a list. The list goes on and on and on, but I'll just cover some of the main things that should change in this game if Diablo 4 wants to turn their metric ratings around, because every time they come out with a patch the metric ratings plummet, which is not a good sign. Let's hop into the open world. The open world, in my opinion, should be something that you enjoy, running around the map, farming, like target farming loot or world bosses. Maybe you're doing renown and an Uber Diablo pops up, or an Uber Lilith pops up, or something from the campaign, like a boss encounter from the campaign. One of those bosses shows up in the open world and they drop something like crazy, or make it to, because right now we're TPing to dungeons and we're just doing the same content over and over and over again. Like, why not make my journey to one of these dungeons more rewarding? Like, say I'm leveling up and I'm traveling to this nightmare dungeon and I hit a side event. Like, make that XP, boost that XP, boost the rewards, boost the loot, something. Make the open world more engaging, because right now it's kind of pointless. Even with the Hell Tides were probably one of the best things in this game, to farm certain materials and all that. But then they made this patch, and now I've done the Helltide once this entire season. I've played this season lots and lots and lots of hours, and I've done the Helltide once, and I still have souls because we can salvage our loot and get souls from that now. So it literally, there's no point in doing the Helltide for me. And on top of that, they made it to where it's 250, Helltide shards or whatever they're called to open that mystery chest. And I don't want to sit there and farm 1,000 when there's the loot, like, or when the mobs are just so scattered in these. So hopefully, like, when they boost the density of the nightmare dungeons and the hell tides, and it will be more enjoyable. But right now, I have no point in farming hell tides, which, like, the the open world is just a joke. Like, it shouldn't even be there. We teleport to nightmare dungeons. We rinse repeat to get XP. The only thing we do is renown, which renown shouldn't even be a thing that we have to do every season. Like, if you did it in the eternal realm, no one enjoys doing renown. Someone please tell me, like, in chat, if there's anybody that is thoroughly going to enjoy doing renown every season. And I just found out today that if you die in hardcore on a character that's done the entire, all the renown, you have to do it over again. So that just sucks. Um, let's get into the other thing. I want to talk about uniques. Uniques for a lot of classes, besides like the druid getting the tempest roar or whatever. They, like, I'm a barbarian main, and whenever a unique drops, I don't get that like wow factor. I'm not like, oh wow, man, like, is this gonna make or break my build? They're uniques. They should make or break a build. They should make it go to the next level. But right now, there's a lot of those uniques that it's better just to use a random uh ancestral yellow at the, like, with the right stats on it, which it frustrates me that uniques are so bad, and on top of that, they you're not allowed to re-roll the stats on them. So they come with set stats every time, and there are specific stats that we need in this game, like critical damage, vulnerable damage, all stat, main stat, crowd control, stuff that your build needs. And most of the time on these uniques, the stats are just completely wrong. So I think they need to rework all the uniques. Even on this upcoming patch, the uniques aren't game changing. So yeah, uniques, please update it, or just fix them, please. I feel like they need to get rid of lucky hit chance on your gear and your skills. I think it feels like, your skills have a lucky hit chance to do 3% damage and stun an enemy for 7 seconds, but it has to be at 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning, and you have to be eating Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supremes, and then your lucky hit will proc. Like, just take them out of the game and just let my skills function the way they're supposed to. I hate the and then on top of that, a lot of the mechanics with the barber, lucky hits don't even work with the barber. So I think lucky hit shouldn't even be a stat in this game. Um, and then, oh man, there's so many things I just want to talk about, but yeah, again, with the renown, just take it out of the game. Um, Maybe with Nightmare Dungeons, you can, if you're doing the in-game content, because there's no in-game content for us right now other than min-maxing or theory crafting your own builds. um, so I would enjoy if Nightmare Dungeon 100s had the possibility of dropping, one of those uber uniques like Shaco or grandfather, anything like that. Even if it was like a 2% chance or a 1% chance, at least I know that there's a possibility that I could get one of these crazy uniques. And Uber uniques, when like the last patch that they released, they were like, oh, they have this new, pole arm or whatever that's grants shrine buffs, but it's an Uber unique. So as soon as I saw that it was an Uber unique, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna see it. So I feel like Uber uniques aren't in the game. Like, cool, they you have them listed as like drops, but in a 3 month season, I'm never gonna see those. There's so many people that play this game, and I don't even know if an Uber unique's been found this season. So, um, yeah, and so the last thing that I want to touch on is quit nerfing builds. Instead of nerfing builds, fix the bugged builds in this game. Um, so it's frustrating as a barbarian player because we've been hit with so many nerfs, and we don't have any bugged mechanics in any of our builds right now. And it doesn't make sense that, the druids and the necros, they have like all these bugs that make them do like billions of damage, and I'm sitting here playing a barb where I don't have any bugged builds, and I'm playing. I feel like barbs are playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. Um, and rogues have a lot of cool builds too. But instead of nerfing everything, just even the playing field. Bring those, like, hot fix those bug builds, and just buff builds on classes to be on par with the other builds in the game. Um, it's super frustrating, and they got a lot of negative feedback for nerfing everything, and their solution was to, okay, everybody's complaining, let's nerf the nightmare dungeons now. So now you have nerfed nightmare dungeons with a bunch of nerfed builds, but at the same time you have all those crazy builds on different classes that aren't barbarian, that are just speed farming 100s because those weren't hot fixed. That I feel like doesn't even cross their mind to hot fix those. Um, it's, oh man, that drives me nuts. And then also the patch that's coming out on the 8th, which is like today. I just got off work, so um, it's a step in the right direction, but there's always something, right? There's always something that's just like, why are you doing that? And for me, it's increasing the Nightmare Dungeons boss's health. So if you're doing a Nightmare Dungeon 100, it now has 150% more health. And all of these boss fights, these encounters, are not hard. They're just giant meat sticks. They're already giant meat sticks. You just, pound on them, wail on them, whatever, and then eventually they die after, like a minute, 30 seconds. Depends on what build you're playing. and some builds just really struggle with Rift Guardians. And I just called them Rift Guardians because Diablo 3. But so now these boss encounters are gonna take, I don't even know. I'm gonna be testing, but it's gonna be bad. And again, a lot of builds struggle with this. And instead of boosting the mechanics of these boss fights to make them more difficult for players, like Uber Lilith is a really good boss. Like whoever did Uber Lilith, do all the Nightmare Dungeon bosses and make those more complex. Don't just increase the life of this boss and be like, oh, that's a good fix. That'll make them harder, because it's not. You can literally stand still and just attack the boss and not die. It just takes depending on your build, it just takes a while. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest, and those are some things that I think would fix the game. This game has a very high ceiling, and I've tell me if I'm wrong, but if this game wasn't called Diablo 4, if it wasn't the Diablo franchise, would you still be playing this game? Or would you be playing something else? For me, I feel like it's strictly because it's called Diablo. I'm almost forcing myself to play this game at this point, because by day 3 of the season, I had already done Nightmare Dungeon 100. And I feel like the only end game content I have in this game is just theory crafting and making new builds. So, again, let me know if I'm wrong. If this game wasn't called Diablo 4 and it was called something else, would you still be playing it? I don't think I would say a lot of you have either already quit this game or you would still be playing it. This video's gone on for about 12 minutes. That's one of my longer videos. But again, yeah, just let me know what you guys think would be some great fixes for this game to make it good. And have a good night.